Look at him, eating whatever he wants, never gaining a pound. While I'm stuck with the boring special and can't lose an ounce.
How's your lunch, man?
Amazing. Yours?
So good.
Oh, I'm so happy for you.
Cool, buddy.
Weight loss isn't fair, but Mochi Health is. The affordable GLP-1 source that can fix your frustration with food.
So, same time next week?
No!
Definitely.
And your friends. Learn more at joinmochi.com. Mochi members have access to licensed physicians and nutritionists. Results may vary.
You're listening to this podcast, so I know you've got a curious mind. Here's a helpful fact you may not know yet. Drivers who switch and save with Progressive save over $900 on average. Pop over to progressive.com, answer some questions, and you'll get a quick quote with discounts that are easy to come by. In fact, 99% of their auto customers earn at least one discount. Visit progressive.com and see if you can enjoy a little cash back. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. National average 12-month savings of $946 by new customers surveyed who saved with Progressive between June 2024 and May 2025. Potential savings will vary.
This episode of Voices for Justice is sponsored by Shopify. Starting a business is filled with a lot of what-ifs. What if I fail? What if nobody listens to the podcast? What if nobody cares? It can definitely be hard to get over that doubt and uncertainty, but making that leap was one of the best things I've ever done, and it's great to know that I'm not alone with a business partner like Shopify. Shopify is the commerce platform behind millions of businesses around the world, and 10% of all e-commerce in the US, from household names like Heinz and Mattel to brands just getting started. And I'm telling you, their tools really do feel like you have a business partner. They have hundreds of ready-to-use templates to help build a beautiful online store that matches your brand. You can also get the word out like you have an entire marketing team behind you. Easily create email and social media campaigns wherever your customers are scrolling or strolling. And if you get stuck, Shopify is always there to help with their award-winning 24/7 customer service. It's time to turn those what-ifs into with Shopify today. Sign up for your $1 per month trial today at shopify.com/justice. Go to shopify.com/justice. That's shopify.com/justice.
Voices for Justice is a podcast that uses adult language and discusses sensitive and potentially triggering topics, including violence, abuse, and murder. This podcast may not be appropriate for younger audiences. All parties are innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. Some names have been changed or omitted per their request or for safety purposes. Listener discretion is advised.
My name is Sarah Turney, and this is Voices for Justice. Today I'm discussing the case of 16-year-old Ali Lowitzer, who was last seen on a Texas school bus on April 26, 2010. That Monday night, Ali's mom, Joanne, thinks that her daughter went to her part-time job after school. But when Joanne arrives to pick her up, Ali is nowhere to be found. That night, Ali is reported missing, starting a tireless search to bring her home. This is the case of Ali Lowitzer. Ali Joy Lowitzer grows up in Spring, Texas, a suburb about 25 miles outside of Houston, and she's involved in a lot of what her neighborhood has to offer. Ali enjoys playing softball and being a Girl Scout. Other than that, she loves being at home. When Ali gets together with her friends, she spends time with them in her house most of the time. She loves watching movies like Anastasia, Rent, and High School Musical. Ali is also extremely fond of animals. She enjoys the pets inside of the Lowitzer home and outside of it. In 5th grade, she took care of a bird's nest and eggs they found inside the family's outdoor grill. She also takes up a lot of creative pursuits, like making crafts with her mom and spending time in her room drawing and painting. Her biggest canvas so far is her grandmother's garage, where she spray painted a sunset mural on an exterior wall. Outside of art, Ali adores music and choir. In 8th grade, she overcomes her shyness to sing the national anthem solo on stage. By all accounts, Ali is a budding artist and just adored by her classmates. During Christmas in 2009, she gets what every teenager dreams of, her very own cell phone. And of course, she uses it all the time. She primarily communicates with her friends through a lot of text messages, about 4,000 a month. Ali turned 16 on February 3, 2010. And like a lot of teenagers, she dyes her hair dark red, has a nose piercing, and wears black eyeliner. Ali also wears a lot of black clothing. Honestly, she sounds like most of my friends growing up. She's also looking forward to planning an Alice in Wonderland-themed birthday party for one of her best friends. Now, Ali also has this really cute daily tradition with one of her schoolmates at Spring High School. At the end of the day, as they board their respective school buses and they start to pull away, they shout to each other, "I love you, see you tomorrow." And in April 2010, Ali adds something new to her after-school routine, her first job. It's a fast food restaurant called Burger Barn, and it's about a quarter of a mile away from her home. Now, Ali had actually been trying to get a job for months, so she's super excited about this. And to make the deal even better, apparently Ali really loves hamburgers. And then finally, on April 26th, her hard-earned paycheck is ready to be picked up. But first, she has to go to school. Joanne recently described that morning on her TikTok account.
It was a typical Monday. I got up and got ready for work. I woke Ali up to get ready for school. And she was in her room getting ready. And I was in my room getting ready. And we really didn't have, much of a conversation. Other than, bye mom, okay, bye Ali, have a good day. And that was about it that morning.
Ali rushes to the bus stop and makes it just in time. After the short ride, the sophomore has a typical day at Spring High School, going to classes and seeing her friends. As school winds down, Ali calls her mom and tells Joanne that she needs to pick up her paycheck at Burger Barn. Ali wants to do it after school, and while she's there, maybe even work a few more hours to earn some extra money. But Joanne reminds her that her grandmother, who usually drives her to Burger Barn, is busy that day. So basically, she's going to have to wait to pick up her check until tomorrow. But I think we've all been there. This is her first check, she's super excited, and so she begs her mom to please let her do it. And Ali has a plan. She says that she'll take the school bus home, then just walk the quarter mile to Burger Barn alone. But Joanne is naturally a little hesitant to this. She recently recalled this conversation on her TikTok account.
After me telling her no several times, she begged and begged and begged. And, she's like, Mom, please, she says, I'll be careful. I'll text you when I get there. I'll let you know if I'm going to stay and work. Because she also, wanted to see if she could work. It was a weird schedule. It was kind of like a day-by-day schedule. So anyway, teenagers know what buttons to push to talk their parents into getting what they want. And Ali definitely knew mine. It was sweet talking me and say, please, please, please. So I gave in. And that was the worst decision of my entire life.
After some back and forth, Joanne reluctantly agrees. At 2:25 p.m., Ali exits Spring High School, walking out with her schoolmate. They each board their respective school buses home and yell to each other, "I love you, see you tomorrow," just like they always do. But this would be their last time. When Ali's bus arrives in her neighborhood, it stops about 3 houses away from her own. She and 2 boys step off the bus at the same time. The boys see Ali walking toward her home, but she lingers behind them a bit because she's texting. Then Ali walks past her house and away from her neighborhood. At 2:57 p.m., she texts a friend. I don't know what that message says or if this was related to the previous text, but remember that Ali is an avid texter. She sends a lot of text messages. But by 3 p.m., all communication stops, and her cell phone is no longer pinging off local cell towers. It's the last time anyone sees or hears from Ali. 2.5 hours pass. At around 5:30 p.m., Joanne Lowitzer arrives home from work and there's no sign of Ali. Now, Joanne isn't instantly alarmed. She figures Ali probably stuck around the Burger Barn to work a few hours just like she said she might. Maybe Ali will call or text when she's on a break. Then another hour and a half passes with no word from Ali. But still, Joanne doesn't want to interrupt her daughter in the middle of working the dinner rush. So at 7 p.m., she texts Ali to see if everything was all right. Then another hour goes by. It's 8 p.m. now, and Joanne is worried. The Burger Barn is about to close in an hour at 9 p.m., and she still hasn't heard from Ali. And Joanne says that it's really not like Ali to go this long without communicating with her mom. Joanne starts to wonder if maybe there's a problem with Ali's cell phone. Now, Joanne was usually the person that picked up Ali from Burger Barn after work, so she goes there right before 9 p.m., right before close. But when she drives up, Joanne sees that the Burger Barn lights are off and all the doors are locked. Ali is not there waiting for her. This episode of Voices for Justice is brought to you by Quince. I've been trying to be more intentional about what I wear each day. I'm leaning into pieces that feel effortless, comfortable, and still put together. And Quince has been my go-to. The fabrics feel elevated, the fits are flattering, and everything just works without overthinking it. They use premium materials like 100% European linen, organic cotton, and ultra-soft denim. And the best part? Everything is priced 50 to 80% less than similar brands. They work directly with ethical factories and cut out the middlemen, so you're paying for quality and craftsmanship, not brand markup. I recently just ordered their tiered linen dress, of course in black. I wanted to pair it with one of my favorite pairs of brown wedges. The problem was, I didn't have a brown purse. So I got that from Quince too. It's one of my favorite outfits. It's easy, effortless, and feels amazing, especially as we're getting a little bit warmer here in Phoenix. Refresh your everyday with luxury you'll actually use. Head to quince.com/justice for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. Now available in Canada too. That's QUINCE.com/justice for free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/justice. This episode of Voices for Justice is sponsored by Chewy. If you have pets, you probably know about Chewy, and you also know that when they say that they have everything you need to keep your pet happy and healthy, they're not messing around. To keep them happy, Chewy has over 100,000 products from all the brands my pets love at prices I love. To keep them healthy, Chewy offers pet prescriptions, pet insurance, telehealth vet visits, and they're even rolling out vet clinics across the country. I've been shopping with them for a very long time. And in addition to the auto-ship feature that gets the dog's food to them every single month, I also love to experiment with different treats. But I'm a bit picky. For me, it has to be high quality with simple ingredients. I recently picked up treats from Shepherd Boy Farms that are 100% just chicken breast. Popcorn and Heber are already obsessed. Chewy has everything you need to keep your pet happy and healthy. And right now, you can save $20 on your first order and get free shipping by going to chewpanions.chewy.com/Sarah E. Turney. That's chewpanions.chewy.com/Sarah E. Turney to save $20 on your first order with free shipping. chewpanions.chewy.com/Sarah E. Turney. Minimum purchase required. New customers only. Terms and conditions apply. See site for complete details.
At DSW, we ask the important questions, like, what shoes are you going to wear? Whether you're prepping for wedding season, festival season, or just planning the ultimate vacay, the right shoes can make or break an RSVP. So own the moment. You've got big plans, and we've got just the shoes. At the perfect price, of course. Get ready to get ready with Designer Shoe Warehouse. Head to your DSW store or dsw.com today, and let us surprise you.
Obviously, at this point, Joanne knows that something is seriously wrong. She starts calling the rest of the family, including her ex and Allie's dad, John. They jump into action. They start calling Allie's friends. They start checking out her favorite local hangouts. But Allie is nowhere to be found, and no one knows where she is. After hours of searching, Joanne and John call the police and report Allie missing. And here they face another nightmare that is all too common in cases of missing teenagers. This officer arrives at their house, looks at Allie's room for a little bit, and is instantly skeptical that Allie is missing at all. She doesn't take down a report or give any guidance. Instead, she just tells Joanne and John to call the precinct when Allie returns home tomorrow. Now, of course, naturally, this is really frustrating for parents who are beyond worried about their young daughter, who is under 18. But this officer doesn't rush to investigate or start a police search at all. Joanne asks her, quote, "What do we do if she doesn't come home?" End quote. The officer responds to call them, and that's it. She leaves without taking any further action. The Lowitzers are disappointed, but determined. The next day, Joanne and John wake up and Ali still isn't home. Her room is still exactly the way she left it the previous morning. Her cell phone charger, clothes, makeup, money, and jewelry are all still there. So they don't wait for police. They mobilize themselves to search for their daughter and spend the day calling everyone they can think of. Joanne also posts a message on Facebook, which attracts a really helpful response. Joanne described it on her TikTok recently.
I was a Girl Scout co-leader, and one of my friends with Girl Scout Council had messaged me and wanted to help, and she told me to contact the Laura Recovery Center. I had never heard of the Laura Recovery Center. I didn't know what they were. So after, she kind of told me about what they do, I contacted them that evening.
The Laura Recovery Center is a nonprofit organization in Friendswood, Texas, another suburb located around 25 miles outside of Houston. Friendswood is where the center's namesake, 12-year-old Laura Kate Smither, was abducted and killed in 1997. A year later, in 1998, Laura's parents, Bob and Gay Smither, founded the Laura Recovery Center. They aim to prevent kidnappings and recover victims of abductions. Knowing that, Joanne calls the Laura Recovery Center to see if they can help. And the next day, the center arrives in Spring, Texas, organizing Ali's friends and family. They even helped urge law enforcement to take action. And the police start their investigation. Of course, law enforcement wants to speak with the boys who got off the bus with Ali and her Burger Barn co-workers. Joanne told me that Ali's dad was actually the one to recover surveillance from the Burger Barn and a local gas station, and that law enforcement had actually lost the video from the gas station at one point. However, officials do obtain the surveillance video from Spring High School and the school bus. These are the last known images of Ali. They also check Ali's cell phone records and find, like I told you, that her cell phone stopped pinging on towers at 3 p.m. And then, law enforcement goes back to Ali's family and says that there's no evidence of foul play or a crime, and there would be no Amber Alert issued. So let's talk about Amber Alert laws. Back in 2010, the Texas Amber Alert required law enforcement to believe a child had been abducted, kidnapped, or the victim of a crime to send out the message. And here, the police make it very clear that they don't think that that's the case. They conclude that Ali simply ran away from home. This is obviously disappointing and devastating for the Lowitzer family. Joanne knows her daughter better than anyone, and she knows that she wouldn't just run away. She also believes that the police are judging Ali as some kind of rebel based on her style, when that wasn't the case at all. Ali loves being at home, and she's been looking forward to the future. Her friends' birthday parties, softball tournaments, getting her braces off, and learning how to drive that summer. Not to mention, she left behind all these teenage essentials. Her cell phone charger, money, jewelry, makeup. They were all still there. On April 30th, Ali Lowitzer has been missing for 4 days. So the Laura Recovery Center immediately sets up a command center and launches search teams. They really do what the police should have been doing. They deploy search dogs, ATVs, boats, community volunteers. They're searching wooded areas, creeks, and houses in the region. But they don't find Ali anywhere. So, like we see a lot of families do, Joanne turns to social media. She starts a Facebook page, and at the time, over 3,000 people follow. She also creates a website, but still, no leads are coming in. The trail unfortunately goes cold for many years. But Joanne doesn't give up. She keeps updating her Facebook page and website about Ali. She refuses to move to a new house just in case Ali returns, because this is the home that Ali loves and remembers. Joanne also keeps paying Ali's cell phone bill, keeping her phone number active in case she calls. And eventually, the Lowitzers raise enough money for a $25,000 reward for whoever finds their daughter. Unfortunately, with the good attention comes the bad. John and Joanne have to fight off calls and visits from so-called psychic detectives who falsely promise that they can find Ali. They also have to deal with other scammers who claim that they'll find Ali if they get the reward money. By 2014, Ali's been missing for 4 years. And really, there are no new leads or progress in this case. So Joanne takes action herself, hiring a PI named Amber Kamek, who lends her help to the family pro bono. Soon, Amber gets a lead that gives the Lowitzer family renewed hope, and then it fizzles out fast. Amber believes Ali was the victim of sex trafficking, and later receives a tip about a woman who matched Ali's description. They say she's in a brothel all the way in Columbus, Ohio. Amber passes this information on to law enforcement, and police raid the location. But Ali wasn't there either. Of course, throughout the case, there are a few other false leads, but they're sightings of lookalikes and minor blips that don't amount to much. Ali is still missing. One day, Joanne is watching the local news, and a reporter hosts a National Blueberry Day segment, going through recipes for the fruit. For many, that would have just been another report on a random social media holiday. But for Joanne, it gives her an idea. She thinks about how that news segment could have been better used to draw attention to missing persons cases, like a local missing persons day. And the rest is really history. Joanne starts a petition and garners the support of local organizations for a Houston Missing Persons Day. And it would be on Ali's birthday, February 3rd. And it's not like this happened overnight. After several years of emails and phone calls, Joanne's campaign works. In 2015, then Houston Mayor Anise Parker proclaims February 3rd as Houston Missing Persons Day. The first one is held in honor of Ali Lowitzer. Along with a volunteer search and the recovery nonprofit Texas EquiSearch, Joanne holds a ceremony that day at the Houston City Hall. And Joanne doesn't stop there. She spends 2 more years contacting people and assembling support for a statewide initiative, a Missing Persons Day for all of Texas. This time, it would be on April 26th, the day Ali went missing in 2010. By 2017, Joanne makes it happen. The state celebrates Texas Missing Persons Day at the state capitol in Austin. Joanne is there for the ceremony, where she's joined by other families of missing people. Both days are still honored in Texas and the city of Houston. Another local Missing Persons Day is established as Southeast Texas Missing Persons Day.
What they did to your family, you're lucky to make it out alive.
Streaming on Peacock.
These men are going to come after me. Taking them out is my only chance.
Put a bullet in her head.
From the co-creator of Ozark.
Looks like a family was running drugs.
Execution-style killing is rare for the Keys. Any leads on who they might have been running for?
The cartel killed my family. I'm gonna kill them. All of them.
MIA. Streaming now. Only on Peacock.
This episode is brought to you by Redfin. You're listening to a podcast, which means you're probably multitasking. Maybe even scrolling home listings on Redfin, saving homes without expecting to get them. But Redfin isn't just built for endless browsing. It's built to help you find and own a home. With agents who close twice as many deals, when you find the one, you've got a real shot at getting it. Get started at redfin.com. Own the dream.
Now, fast forward to 2019. The Harris County Sheriff's Office, Springs Local Police, moves Ali's case from the Missing Person Unit to the Homicide Division. A new cold case deputy even gets assigned to it. But ultimately, nothing new comes of it. 4 years later, Joanne makes a big decision. She cancels Ali's cell phone line. It's a hard decision, but Joanne feels it's time. Unfortunately, the Lowitzer family knows as much about their Ali's whereabouts as they did in April 2010. Ali got off her school bus and never made it to work or home. This is another one of those cases. It's incredibly frustrating that basically no credible leads have materialized in the 14 years since Ali's been missing. No one seems to have any idea what happened to her. There have been no suspects or persons of interest named in this case, and no arrests have ever been made. That's pretty much where her case is today. Joanne believes her daughter could still be out there, so she continues to bring awareness to Ali's case. She appears on the local news often, and recently joined TikTok like a lot of families. There, she shares old memories and videos of Ali, along with important information on her disappearance. She's garnered quite an audience of 34,000 followers and counting. I, of course, encourage you to follow her, and we'll have the link to that in the episode description. Which brings me right to our call to action. Share Ali's case, share this episode, and share her mother Joanne's social media pages for her daughter. And if you'd like to help even further, her family is accepting donations to Ali's recovery fund via PayPal. I'll have the link for that in the description as well. As always, please let's rally around Ali's loved ones and show them the support that they need. As a reminder, Ali Lowitzer was 16 when she went missing from Spring, Texas on April 26, 2010. She is white, with brown hair and blue eyes. At the time of her disappearance, she was 5'2" and weighed approximately 145 pounds. She was last seen wearing a white t-shirt, dark hoodie, black and white checkered skinny jeans, and black tennis shoes. She was carrying a blue slide cell phone and a multicolored check backpack. She does wear braces and her ears are pierced. If you have any information about Ali Lowitzer, please call the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children at 1-800-THE-LOST. But as always, thank you, I love you, and I'll talk to you next time. Voices for Justice is hosted and produced by me, Sarah Turney, and is a Voices for Justice media original. This episode contains writing and research assistance by Mallory Cara. A special thank you to Ali's mom, Joanne, for speaking with us for this episode. If you love what we do here, please don't forget to follow, rate, and review the show in your podcast player. It's an easy and free way to help us and help more people find these cases in need of justice. Welcome to the Secret After Show. The dogs are in. There's a lot of neighborhood noise, so please bear with me. Let's dive into this case. It probably comes as no surprise that I found Ali's case on TikTok. I think the first video I saw was actually when Joanne canceled her cell phone number, and the anguish, you can just feel it. I mean, it's like, how do you, after so many years, right, it makes total sense that she would cut the phone line, but emotionally, of course, that's so hard. I really do encourage you, as always, to go look at these family members' social media accounts. If you want to hear the most raw, real version of these stories, 9 times out of 10, that's where you're going to get it, is right from the family. I will also say that Joanne shared with us that there was quite a bit of misinformation in Ali's case, so just be on the lookout for that as you consume content about her. Now, of course, this is probably, again, no surprise to anybody. I want to talk about law enforcement in this case, and how often I see police treating teenagers as runaways. And of course, that's what happened in my sister's case, so I'm especially sensitive to it. Of course I am. It just hurts to see and is so hard. Like, especially back then, 2010, I feel like that was a really common style. Like, you know, like the stripy armbands and the dark hair and having a nose piercing. Like, that was so many kids back then, and to see law enforcement, according to Ali's family, they believe that she was judged based on her appearance, and it's a hard thing, right? Because in one hand, we're in the face of these statistics that tell us that most kids come back, but I can tell you, when it's your kid, when it's your person, those statistics go right out the window. When you know your person and how they should act, and you're just told, well, don't worry, I'm sure they'll be home, it's really, really difficult and an unfair position to be in. And like I said, it's hard because I see both sides. I truly do. But this is why I feel like these cases have to be taken seriously from the beginning. For me, it's a situation of like better safe than sorry. And if the resources aren't there for that, that's another conversation that needs to be had. I also want to say that there's a new name in our credits this week, Mallory Cara. I am so grateful to have her on the team. She is fantastic. I worked with her over at Spotify on Disappearances. She is a full-fledged journalist who also teaches journalism, and I am just so lucky and grateful to have her on this team. I am always looking for ways to make this show better, especially through collaboration, to just really amplify everything. So if you love this episode, please let me know. I think Mallory is absolutely fantastic and will be an incredible asset to this show. On to what I'm watching, what I'm doing, what I'm reading, all of that. I haven't read anything since The Island of the Blue Dolphins. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I have not been reading. Maybe I can hold myself accountable by telling you that each week. I aspire to read. To be totally honest, I was an English major, which meant every semester I had to read like an unholy amount of books. And it really turned me off from reading. I was a lifelong reader my whole life. I loved, especially as a kid, getting lost in a book. And then when it became work for me, I was like, no thanks. So I'm really trying to get back into reading. I do love it. I just like lost my passion for it. I'm not going to lie. And I think that's why I went back to Island of the Blue Dolphins, because I remember it gave me this like visceral feeling of wanting to read and loving to read, and everything in the book, just I could like see it in my head, and that was the beauty of reading, is that book to me. So I'm trying. But I did watch something, and it is true crime related. I watched What Jennifer Did. I watched it on a plane, and it was fine. It's a story about a girl who essentially killed her parents. It's obviously, as they all are, extremely sad. But in terms of like style and storytelling, I didn't think it was anything special, if I'm being totally honest with you. And then after I landed, I found out that there's a controversy. There's an ethics controversy around this documentary that I didn't know about. So of course I was like, what's this? You guys know I am always diving into conversations about ethics and true crime. I think it's just an ongoing conversation that will always need to be had in this genre. And this one was a little surprising. So this one actually is related to AI. And I've been really digging to figure out what the exact issue was. Because at first it was just kind of, it felt very vague in the sources that I found about it. But they used AI in this documentary and did not disclose it. Now, it appears that what they did was basically like they altered some pictures. And I'm going from today.com, the Today Show, essentially. Apparently, they took an image of her and then made her like throw up peace signs to make it seem like she was having a better time than she was. I don't know. It seems like a silly reason to use AI, to be totally honest. But that was the controversy around it, is, using AI in something that is called a documentary. Is that right? Is it wrong? Do they need to disclose it? And how much do they need to disclose? And I think it's a really interesting conversation. I would love to hear from you. Obviously, I think honesty and transparency is the best policy. If you're going to use AI, I think you need to tell the viewer that you're using AI so they know what's real and what's not, especially in a documentary setting. Those are my 2 cents. Let me know what you think. On to our segment of hope. This one's hard. It does hit close to home, which a lot of this stuff does in true crime. It just is what it is. But you guys may have heard about this. It was pretty big. My source material is NBCnews.com, and essentially, a terrible person confessed on their deathbed, and after 24 years, a mom and daughter who went missing have finally been recovered. So back in August 2000, Susan Carter and her 10-year-old daughter, Natasha Alex Carter, went missing. Their bodies were recovered in suspect Larry Webb's West Virginia backyard Monday. He actually died, it looks like a few hours before the bodies were found. Now, this mother and daughter had been living there when they went missing, and it seems that it was just 18 months ago that they obtained a search warrant for this home. Here they found a bullet in the wall of a bedroom that was 10-year-old Alex's. The bullet was covered in blood, sent out for testing, and it was determined that the blood was 10-year-old Alex's. Now, this makes me so frustrated, I think, for obvious reasons, but in October 2023, a grand jury did indict Webb on charges of first-degree murder. The prosecuting attorney said the, quote, evidence they possessed was so overwhelmingly in favor of Larry Webb being the individual, end quote, believed to have committed the crimes, but it was delayed because of Webb's health. But essentially, like I said, he made this deathbed confession, leading to the recovery of their bodies. He died just a few hours before they were found, and that's how this ends. Now, obviously it makes the segment of hope because there is hope for deathbed confessions, and I think it's really timely, especially because of the news of O.J. Simpson passing and this weird story, and I don't know, I'd have to look back at official sources, but there's kind of these rumblings about his family signing NDAs that he might have possibly did a deathbed confession, but we don't know. We don't know that for sure. Now, I really do want to point to Alex's dad, who was featured in this article. He talks about how it was a really sad day, but a happy day, and also that the case had just gone cold so many times that he almost lost hope. So I want to point to this quote that I thought was really powerful. He says, quote, "I can tell anyone that's in my position, just never give up. Never give up hope on finding your child." End quote. So that's where I'll leave you with our segment of hope. But as always, thank you, I love you, and I'll talk to you next time.
Stitch Fix. Stop shopping, get styled. A+ on the outfit, Miss Turner. You are about to slay parent-teacher conferences.
Oh, these? Just the most perfect fitting jeans my stylist sent me.
Oh, hello, you, who didn't set one foot in a mall and still looks amazing.
Just share your size, style, and budget, and your stylist sends personalized looks right to your door. Stitch Fix. Get started today at stitchfix.com. To my stylist, this look is dedicated to you. Thank you. Thank you.